freelance right now, but looking to branch out to start something. And I would say one of the things I've seen in a lot of pitches and talking to founders about their startups is I think often there's an overemphasis on talking about the solution, thinking about the solution. But I find that some of the most compelling pitches, some of the most compelling work that's done is around really defining the problem. So I think some of the most powerful pitches are the ones where there's an overinvestment in the problem. Like a really good problem statement, I think just goes a really long ways. Because once you can sell someone, your audience, on the problem, and they're captivated by that and say, wow, that really is a problem. You know, the problem is, well, there's too much information on the internet. We're going to make it easier to organize it. It's like, okay, well, yes, if you're Google, okay, but being specific and punchy, being powerful about that, there's nothing like that in a pitch. And so having just a really great problem statement. Out of 16 slides, I usually say, you know, you can have 4 or 5 just on the problem. Then if the audience, whether it's your team members or investors, and they're thinking, okay, wow, do you have a solution for it? Oh, yes, I do. And I think that's, I found time and time again, that's been some of those powerful pitches and discussions that I've seen. That's for one. I would say the other thing is, you know, we're all from MIT, we love building stuff. I think that's, you know, you can't overemphasize that as an important endeavor to pursue. Keep doing it. But I would say if you are looking to be a founder, first time, or maybe it's, I guess by the time you're a second time founder, you know this. What do you think is, I mean, this is, again, you know, your mileage may vary, but most important role for a founder. What do you think the most important job is? Any takers? Picking the right team, yeah, pretty important, yeah. Defining the vision, super important. I mean, you don't know what you're doing, then, you know, that's going to be a problem. Anyone else? Oh, learning math. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm a math student, I get it, you know. Yeah. So, yeah, lady in the back. Relationships, building great relationships. All of those are probably mandatory part of the founder job description. But, you know, let me throw in one that I think often gets undersold, and that is selling, sales. You know, because oftentimes, I feel that over time, maybe not at the beginning, but, well, definitely at the beginning, actually, come to think about it, but over time, I found that in my role as a founder, in the role of my friends who are founders, that's all they're doing is sales. You're trying to convince people to join your team who probably shouldn't leave their well-paying job at Google to join you because it's super high risk. You're trying to convince the media to write about you when there's nothing to write about. You're trying to get customers to pay for your product that barely exists. You're trying to get partners to work with you who probably should be careful about working with you because you might not exist in 6 months. And that's just part of what founders are doing, and then and convincing team members to go along with the vision that you have in mind. And so I think that's just time and time again, this has been this recurring role. I think you always do that. So these are just a few nuggets from, you know, collective experience. You know, when people talk about serial entrepreneurs, I just think, oh man, I don't know if I want to be that. That just means I haven't made it. Like Mark Zuckerberg's not a serial entrepreneur, you know. So right. So that means we're still trying. We're still at it. But you know, hearing from what Bob Metcalf in 6 careers, you know, I guess okay, maybe there's a case for serial entrepreneurship.
Thank you. That is really insightful, and I hope that a lot of people here, I'm sure that like probably at least 50% of them are thinking about this as they think about their own startup. And so as we take the next step, thinking about like building companies, and during this time we're talking about building AI startup. And your experience, also the combination of AI and then hardware as well. So would love to hear from your perspective, like thinking this, there are a lot of people talking about robotics and how robotic can be used in the future with the AI-infused characters, and how that is going to impact and improve the society in many ways, but also like we'd love to hear what you think, and like would you want to build something like that yourself in the future? And like there are so many perspectives, so many people talk, especially in Silicon Valley, it was like, oh, hardware is so hard. So would love to hear your perspective on that.
Yeah, I love and hate hardware. Look, yes, hardware is hard, but competing against Apple, that's much harder. Okay, so I think as long if you're thinking about doing hardware, I think one of the key things to keep in mind is just make sure that hardware is you're using it as a barrier to entry, or it's really enabling something that you just could not possibly do otherwise. But in any case, it's going to end up becoming a software kind of problem, whether you like it or